United States, making important decisions right now. The nation at a crossroads, waiting to learn if Vice President Kamala Harris or former President Donald Trump will be the next president. And we're back with our election coverage. John King, should we all be bracing for the kind of protracted vote count that we had in 2020, which really lasted until Saturday? Should we be preparing for that or not?
What we're told by state officials, Jake, officials we trust, is to be somewhere in the middle. They don't think it's going to be as long as 2020, but they do think it could take a while, especially if it's very close to some of the battleground states. One thing we do have to be prepared for is for the map early on in the night, perhaps not to look like the map is going to end, either later in this night or as we get a day or two down the road and we get final results. Why do I say that? Remember 2020. Some states count votes one way, other states count votes another way, meaning some states count election day ballots first. They tend to favor Republicans. Some states count mail-in ballots first, early ballots first. They tend to favor Democrats. We do not expect the difference to be as lopsided as it was in 2020 when the mail-in ballots, the early ballots, disproportionately favored the Democrats. But remember 2020. This is how the map ended up. And how it ends up is what matters most. How it ends, not how it begins. It ended this way with Joe Biden's big victory. But let's just go back in time to remind you. This is 9 o'clock at night on Tuesday night in 2020. You look right here, right? So Michigan is red. Texas is blue. Mississippi is blue. Missouri is blue, right? Pennsylvania in this scenario is still blue. Ohio is blue, right? That's an unusual map. That's because some states were counting mail ballots first, disproportionately Democrat. Some days were counting election day ballots first, disproportionately Republican. Now, let's just go through what happened as we went through the night. This is midnight. You see, Texas went back to being Texas. It's a red state. Missouri went back to being Missouri. It's a red state. As they continue to count the votes, right? You still see Ohio goes back there. Then we get to 12 noon on Wednesday, the next day. What has happened? Michigan has gone blue. These have gone back to themselves. Keep an eye. Pennsylvania is red here, but it's only noon on Wednesday. We continue to count the votes. By noon on Friday, Pennsylvania is blue, Michigan is blue, and I just want to take this off. At this point, the map is filled in pretty much where it ended. This is noon on Friday, and then, of course, it was Saturday morning just before noon. Results came in Philadelphia. We were able to project Joe Biden as the winner. So is it going to be as confusing as that? Some people call that a mirage. It's not a mirage. Those votes are real. Joe Biden was leading in Texas. Joe Biden was leading in Missouri. It just wasn't the full pie. It was a piece of the pie. So we'll have that again tonight. Some states count in different ways because the states decide how to administer their election. So the word of the night, just as it was in 2020, is let's be cautious. What you see at the beginning might not be what you get at the end.
Right, and also important to remind people, as if they need reminding, that 4 years ago we were in the middle of a deadly pandemic, and that was one of the reasons why so many people were voting early. More people voted early 4 years ago than this time.
Right, and so we know that that number is down some, and we know that the Republican number is up. What we don't know is are those new Republicans. Most of the data suggests they're not new Republicans. They're just Republicans who took advantage of, oh, I can vote early and I don't have to wait in line. That's how some of that happened. But that's one of the things we want to watch as this plays out. This is the 2020 map again. As we come into the 2024 election map, that's what you want to see. And we will get some early clues. We do know in Michigan they say they'll count faster. In Pennsylvania they say they'll count faster. In Wisconsin they say they'll count faster. So while I want to prepare everybody that this could take a few days before we know the ultimate winner, I do believe if those states are keeping their word and they get that done that quickly, we actually may get some clues tonight. And we also may get some clues out of states that are not battlegrounds. Virginia, one of the earliest states to report. 2 competitive congressional races there, key suburban votes there. So we will get some clues as we early in the night, and then everyone be patient as we continue to count from there. And as we wait for the first votes, our coverage continues right now.